And you know, us sports moms have something to say.
Yes, we do.
We'll have a chance to interview across the board, from athletes to the parents to the coaches to even the trainers.
And we're not afraid to share our journey. We're not afraid to tell other moms what we went through in order to raise up a student athlete.
So I believe that it's inspirational. We able to tell our story, the good and the bad.
We can give back positive information.
Absolutely.
You know, we can empower them.
Yeah, I think it's time for the mothers to be a voice.
Yeah, that's it.
It's time for us to let you know what's going on.
I am here at the Texas Black Sports Hall of Fame inductee tonight. And it's an honor just to be here to see all our wonderful Black people, and we're here to celebrate them.
This year, because we've got 9 of the finest sports figures in Texas.
I feel like I played on at least 2 of the best, I won't say 3, I say 2 of the best teams in the history of the game.
Tonight, they are honoring Tiffany Jackson of basketball, Larry Walker, Robert Brazile, Darren Woodson, Louis Stanfield, Marcus Freeman, Deon Myers, and Cameron Broadnax for volleyball. These are all the wonderful people that they are honored here. And Can We Talk Sports? We just had to be here to help celebrate these awesome men and women who have played the wonderful game of sports. So come on.
About 250 of the 298 biographies for the Texas Black Sports Hall of Fame inductees over the past 24 years. And 24 years is very important because we are anxiously preparing for next year for our 25th anniversary. And we're going to promise you it's going to be big. Not to say that it's big this year, because we've got 9 of the finest sports figures in Texas. And we're going to talk with them just a little bit and things, and so they can get to know them a little bit. And then, of course, they will be inducted tomorrow at the Texas Black Sports Hall of Fame.
I feel like I played on at least 2 of the best, I won't say 3, I say 2 of the best teams in the history of the game, because talent-wise, from top to bottom, we were hard to deal with in 92 and 93.
And you sure were. I remember those teams well, and you were right there contributing with them. I remember the game against the Giants, last game of the season, where Emmett
Just like on the mic, Jess.
That's the game where Emmett Smith almost carried the team with a broken collarbone, but you had a big game defensively in that game as well.
I don't remember. I don't remember Stanfield.
Okay.
No, I do. That was a game where I had a lot of tackles. I think I had like 20-some tackles that game. That wasn't a good thing for a safety.
No,
because that means Russ. I don't know what Russell was doing up front there. I was making all the tackles. Look, having that amount of tackles is one thing. It's just a part of the game. But I don't want to take away from what Emmett did that day. At the MC joint, had a shoulder injury and played through it. But that was the mentality of that team. A lot of guys that played at a high level even through the pain.
Man, I tell you, who did you emulate as a player? Who inspired you?
Who inspired me? Man, that's a great question. My mama inspired me.
Okay.
I don't think I ever, outside of my maker, Jesus Christ, I mean, that's the only, my mother was my inspiration in the fact that got up every day, worked 2 jobs, raised 4 kids, didn't take any handouts, showed me what work ethic was all about, told me not to be normal, but to be abnormal. And that's what I am today. I think she's my hero.
Yep, and as also an analyst for ESPN and doing other things, you're proving yourself in those rounds as well. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Darren Woodson. She was top 10 in several different records at the University of Texas. What was her experience then?
She was she left high school as a forward, and she was pretty good, and she was drafted first round 5th pick to the New York Liberty in 2007.
She spent several years in the WNBA, but she also played overseas. Talk about that.
Yes, she played for the New York Liberty. She played for Tulsa Shock, and then she went to the Dallas Wings when they moved to Dallas. And her last team was LA Sparks, and she went overseas, and they won several championships for in Israel. And yes, she just came back from Israel probably in October for her last time. And right now, as many of you know, she's battling metastatic breast cancer.
I just heard about that, and it was really stunning to hear, and which is part of the reason why she's not here. Just what would you like for us to say to Tiffany? Take back to Tiffany.
Just give her your prayers and your love, and I'll let her know that everyone is thinking about it.
Thanks so much.
Good evening again. I'm Ron Parker. I'm a 2002 inductee, a Texas Christian Horned Frog, and was drafted by the Chicago Bears in 1976.
Bobby Moulton, Bishop College, drafted by the Atlanta Falcons, and long history, but it's not my night.
I'm Bill McKinney. I originated off-season basketball in North Texas, 1984. So welcome, everyone.
Good evening. I am Deborah Rodman. I am a native of Dallas with the South Oak Cliff, where we hold the record for 40-0. The first ladies team that I played for in Louisiana Tech, we were the first ones to win the NCAA championship.
I'm a Super Bowl champion at 8 years old. So, when he does grow up and become a great athlete, and does go to the Super Bowl, I've been to the Super Bowl. Although it's great, that exposure at that young level, I think sometimes it's good. Some people it's it's fun and good for other guys who aren't quite ready for the NFL opportunity. To give them opportunities. And if they can perform there, NFL will see them and they're not going to go. The opportunity to go. And then so you even got some excellent NFL players playing because they got cut. I'm looking for a chance to go. So you know, to go all right.
Hello, this is Karen with Can We Talk Sports, and we are here at the Texas Sport Hall of Fame, the Black Texas Sport Hall of Fame, and I am here with one of the parents of the inductee, Miss Cameron.
Camera Broadnax, the picture camera.
Cameron
Named after the legend, pretty much, Arthur Ashe. That's why we come up with that name. Yeah, his wife, Miss Ashe, was an amateur photographer. I think a professional, and their first child was named Cameron.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
You named her
and named after that. That's why we come up with the name Cameron.
Oh,
just like the picture camera itself.
Yes, awesome, awesome. So, how do you feel about your daughter being inducted tonight?
Oh, I think it's a big time honor. I tell you, it's awesome. I mean, it's just a dream come through, and you just feel good as a parent. You feel good inside, and you just thank God.
Yeah.
To God be all the glory, and to God be all the praise.
Amen.
That's the way I would say. Yes.
So, do you think hard work pay off?
Oh, no doubt, no doubt. Can't do it without hard work. Can't do it without putting in the time, the hard work, staying focused, and so it all started pretty much with my mom, who is pretty much my hero and everything, and so she just kind of taught us early, established our spiritual foundation, so to speak. Just let us know, So I had a lot of male mentorship, and just my mom just say, hey, look, you gotta put work in, time in, and it'll pay off.
It'll pay off. Yeah. So, Cameron, she played volleyball?
She played volleyball, basketball, and did track.
Oh, wow.
So Cameron was pretty much, I can tell she's pretty much quite an athlete. I did all those sports too as well. And I kind of knew maybe she kind of had some that type of talent too as well. And like I say, she just turned out that her love was more for volleyball, but she was just as good, if not better, in basketball.
I think I saw that her height was 5'4".
Right.
And so I was like, okay, usually volleyball players are really taller.
Exactly.
So she was shorter. So that gave her that leeway to be able to get all the way across, all around on the floor.
Right, exactly. As a matter of fact, her height is pretty much a little story, kind of like when she was going over from private school to public school, and was the head basketball coach, which the team later won state. And I was coming to, well, Cameron's coming over next year, your daughter. So she was looking at my height, and she was like, oh, man, we finally got a center, that he's doing. And I said, Coach, sorry, my daughter's only about 5'4", 5'5". She said, she don't have your height. So, but thing about that position and being about Cameron's height, Cameron being a defensive specialist, which they call a DS, and being a libero playing on the back row, Cameron used all that just to pretty much dig balls, because that's what the libero and DS did. She had a great hand and eye coordination, which means that she had a great first step to be able to go, pretty much toward the ball. So when they spiked, Cameron was extremely good at getting from one position to the other.
Wow.
Yeah, one place to the other. She can go from point A to point B, and kind of in a quick of an eye,
So would you recommend volleyball to other parents as far as being a sport to go to college and getting your education?
I do. I agree. I think volleyball is a great sport. Matter of fact, before my daughter played it, I watched it but didn't pay a lot of attention to it. So obviously after she started playing it and became very good in it, then I pretty much, like her, I fell in love with volleyball too. Just seeing the girls play, at their front net, the back row, so I learned a lot about the game. fell in love, and I watch it even now today.
Really?
Yeah, right. Yeah.
I'm confused about the rotation and they
Yeah.
move on.
Yeah, right.
But
right.
it's very loud. I went to my niece's game and people were just screaming. I said, "This place is crunk up in here for volleyball."
What do you need to play? She play in the front at the net or the back court?
I think she played at the net. She's
Okay.
tall.
Okay.
She's tall.
Yeah.
Mom is tall, so she does
either
a lot
probably a right side hitter or left side hitter, or she's a middle.
She on one of them sides.
Oh, okay. She want to middle. See, I told you. I know. I learned about the game. Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know.
She's either left or right side hitter.
Yeah.
The one that spike them balls. Yeah.
So what is Cameron doing now? What is she going to do?
Cameron really pretty much working in her field. She majored in psychology in school. So that's one of the things that she's been working about 2 years since she graduated, working in the field. But here's what people don't know this, and I don't think it even mentioned it in her profile or bio. Cameron really legitimate should be in this year's 2020 Olympics in Tokyo. We saw that. Matter of fact, twice Cameron had the opportunity to go to Colorado Springs and actually try out for the national team. She had a chance to make the pretty much the national team, and if you pretty much make the national team, then you go to California and train, and then because most of the time they pick the USA volleyball players from that national team. So she had a chance to make the national team and go to Colorado Springs, and then she got distracted twice, one year right after another. Even after she was making all conference and doing all that. But legitimate, we had pegged along her career path, everything had pretty much came through. God has blessed it where everything came to pass, except for that thing where she didn't go to, take advantage of the opportunity to go to Colorado Springs. Yeah.
So what's one thing that you would like to share with other parents about your journey of raising up a student athlete?
I would say you try to pretty much, one thing I'm going to say, because I'm a believer, as God is my Lord and Savior, Jesus is my Lord and Savior, you want to always, like my mom did, always try to sow into me by the word of God, taking it in the church, because the word says train up a child and so forth and everything. And it also said that he is the way, the truth, and the life. So that being number one, and the fact by just being focused, pretty much keep them focused and keeping up with what they do, pretty much. From elementary to middle to high school, kids like their independence, they grow, they come to have their independence. But I always let my daughter know, because when they're in elementary school, they tend to always, it's hard to leave them. They be crying, don't go, don't go. Then as they begin to get independent, they pretty much, well, they don't want their parents around. Right. Dad, you can let me out right here. I said, no, you stuck with me. You stuck in elementary, so I ain't letting you out around the corner. Right. I'm sticking with you through through middle, high school, and all that. So you gotta just keep a relationship and try to teach it. Yeah.
All right, well, thank you so much.
Right.
I appreciate you talking with me.
Amen. Sure, glad to.
Hey, you guys, this is Karen. Karen Talk Sports, the #1 sports talk show from the perspective of mom, and I am here at the Black Texas Sports Hall of Fame, and I am honored to have right here Mr. Jessie Armstead. You guys, he played 11 years in the NFL. Come on now, tell me about yourself.
Well, I tell you what, you just told a lot of things, but I'm from Dallas, born and raised from Dallas, 3-time All-American, first one ever. And I tell you what, with the University of Miami, and played in 3 national championships, 1, 2. Fortunate to be with the New York Football Giants and win 2 Super Bowls.
Wow. What do you think about this night of being here and being honored among your own people?
Oh, it is great. I mean, like either just being here and be honored, being in the Hall of Fame with a lot of great guys and people of the past, you know.
Yeah, yeah. Hey, I saw that you might have been in a film.
Yeah, it was a few different films. They came out with Friday Night Lights first, and they had Carter playing against Odessa Permian, and nobody knew that team in the red. They just knew that team in the red won the game. And finally, Greg Ellis came out with the movie Carter High, and then after that, ESPN came out with the 30 for 30, where you actually see the players and talk to them and know who they are. And it was a great opportunity to realize that the first team since 1950 to win a state championship in the state of Texas.
Wow. And so you went to Carter High.
Carter High, Coach Freddie James, the best coach you can ever play for.
All right. So by playing 11 years, does that mean hard work pay off?
Oh, absolutely. Hard work pay off no matter what the circumstance is. You got to make sure you get your education. When I was in high school, I graduated in 3 years. I got to University of Miami, graduated 3 years, criminal justice degree. And I tore my knee up, tore my shoulder up in college. They thought I'd never play football again. So you got to have your education. You got to sit up there and work hard no matter what the circumstances are. And I got an opportunity with the New York Football Giants, and they blessed me to be able to play for them. And I've been working for that organization for 25 years. So they saw how hard I worked, and I've been working for them ever since I left the game of football.
Wow, that is awesome. So I think it's important that even if you can't play, you still are around the sport and you still can do other things around the sports. And so you are a testament of that, you know. So I think that is great. And then the fact that you graduated college, that's one thing that we try to promote for moms in sports, that the kids, even though they're going and getting a scholarship, we want our kids to get an education. How important was it for you to get that degree?
It was real important. People tell you all the time about getting your education and everything like that. And I was always the greatest athlete you wanted to see. But one day on the football field, I tore my right knee up so bad that the doctor said that they hadn't seen nothing like that. I came back the following year and tore my right shoulder up. So my whole right side had been totally reconstructed. Everybody kind of gave up. So I still had my degree to hold on to say I still can do other things in life, you know. I always wanted to play football, but I had to have that piece of paper. And that's what you want every kid to go out there and get that paper, because in the long term in life, you need that.
Well, you guys, you heard it right here. My man.
Jessie Armstead, Carter High School, New York Football Giants, and the U, all right?
The U? No, the Soto U. We the Soto U, but you Miami U. We took it from y'all. The Soto U, baby. That's us.
All right. All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Yeah,
I
right.
appreciate
you.
So, hello, this is Karen. Karen Talks Sports, and I am here with the president of the African American Museum, and you guys are the originator of the Texas Black Sports Hall of Fame. It was an honor. It was such a pleasure being here today. So I had to sit down with you and just pick your brains and tell me about how did you guys start this?
Well, there was a need. We had athletes who were excellent athletes, brilliant athletes, and some of them were not being recognized. And then there were a lot of them who were recognized, but a lot of people didn't know about them. So we wanted to chronicle and record the achievement of these athletes and coaches as I got started. And I had several older fellows who had been involved with the PBIL League, Preview League, and one guy who had a newspaper here who played with in the Negro League Baseball. So I just gathered them up and told them what I wanted to do, and they joined in and have been working with me. Now I have a younger crowd of men who, when I initially started, a group of older athletes, part of that Preview League, Houston, Tilliston, went to Wiley, and all of them. And they were very supportive.
Wow, this is awesome. So how do you pick the people in the Hall of Fame?
The public nominates them. And there's a board of selectors consisting of journalists, sportscasters, coaches, athletes, and a few past inductees. And they select top 10 athletes for their year. A player must have been retired for 5 years. There's no time limit on a coach. so coach can retire the day before, and they would be eligible.
So you're only doing it as far as people being professional sports or college?
No, there were some people who had outstanding high school records, and the requirement is they must have played in Texas or was born in Texas. Because at night, there are some people inducted. They didn't play in Texas, but they were born in Texas, or some of them went to college in Texas. I think. So that's the connection. You got to either be a resident, be a native, or have played sports or worked in Texas in sports.
So tomorrow they get to wear this beautiful purple jacket. How'd you come up with that color?
Well, that's a color we picked out. No reason. This looks good.
Passion royalty.
Yep.
So tomorrow they get to put on the jacket.
Yep. And they get to say a few words. We tell them got 2 minutes, but But for the last several years, it's been pretty good. They've been pretty good at it. But back in the early days, boy, you almost take the mic from them. They were so excited. But I was just telling someone that it is very interesting how humble these people are. For the last 23 years, we've had this thing. We've never had egos and attitudes or drama with the inductee. They're very humble. And it seems to us, the ones who have the greatest reputation seem to be the most humble.
I like the fact that they were reachable. They didn't come in here with a lot of bodyguard and you had to be in a separate room and you could only see them through the glass.
But there are some whom we've tried to get. And you have those, so you got to get through agents and all kinds of stuff. So we say, okay, we extend the invitation, but we're not going to expend a lot of energy on that kind of foolishness.
Right.
And it's not just with us. There are 1 or 2 athletes who've been trying to get, and the Texas Sports Hall of Fame told us they had to work on them for years. And they tried to get them inducted, and some of them they finally got in. But one of them had a very, very exorbitant appearance fee.
Wow.
We don't do that. We honor them. We give them that purple jacket as a medallion. We pay their hotel accommodations and their travel. That's it. That's all we got.
Right. So how can people donate to the cause or give back to the museum?
Go to the African American Museum website. It's aamdallas.org. And you can pull up the Texas Black Sports Hall of Fame website too. And they'll give instructions on how to give.
Well, thank you so much for allowing Can We Talk Sports to come. And I hope that this is the beginning of a relationship where we can come every year.
You got to come back next year because our 25th is going to be great. It's a silver, very special. And they're going to talk about that tomorrow too.
Awesome. Well, I'm going to plan for them. I have my other ladies to come out, my other moms to come and help me with this. This is new for me, but I'm going to have everybody here and we're going to be ready. Hopefully we can be a sponsor.
Great. Second weekend in February.
So it's that time every year?
Yes.
Okay. All right. We're going to work towards it. So thank you so much. Now, tell me, I didn't get your name.
Harry.
We didn't even do it. Amateur.
Harry Robinson Jr.
Nice to meet you, Harry.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Okay. Thank you for coming to see us.
All right.
And thank you.
All right.
Okay.
Come